Water, oil, two substances that were never meant to mix. For me, this is what it felt like to be a citizen from Kazakhstan plunged into the world of white people. It didn't mix right, feel right, and honestly, sometimes merely being a foreigner felt opposed to the laws of physics and nature. Truly a disgusting mix. And yet, soon I learned the true way of integrating myself into another culture. Let's get started, shall we? So I know there are probably many deep philosophical questions you have about the nature of my country. Questions such as, how many camels does it take to get a wife? Or, do you ride ponies to school? Oh, and let's address the question that is probably the first to enter all your minds. What the hell is Kazakhstan? Partially because Kazakhstan sounds like a made-up country in a movie about finding bomb terrorists. People's perception of what it means to be from this great country from Central Asia tends to be quite skewed. I've found very little success in asking people to point to Kazakhstan on a map, and far less in having people tell me what it's kind of like there. And the movie Borat does not help with Kazakhstan's image at all.
Hey man, you know Borat?
Yeah. I was quite offended by the fact that people were so ignorant towards where I grew up and spent my childhood, but soon I had to let go of that grudge. I simply had no choice in letting go as I realized that there were many questions I could not answer about Americans. Questions such as, why do Americans park in a driveway and drive in a parkway? Or why is there no ham and hamburger and no egg and eggplant? And what does Joe Biden even do? Until I can answer these questions, I have no right in expecting native white people to know anything about my own humble origins. That would simply be hypocritical. Diving into a culture that is contrary to yours is indeed scary. In fact, unlike anything else in the world, cultural shock is something that nobody looks forward to. Kinda like seeing me shirtless. And yet there's something beautiful in not knowing how you'll react moving to America. You might in a couple of weeks become completely American and forget who you were before moving to the land of the free. Perhaps instead of that, you'll become a mix of the two, adopting the beautiful sides of both your culture and that of America, thus becoming a much more interesting person to be around. Either way, you'll probably get pretty fat. And sometimes instead of being scared, you just gotta do it. See, I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but if you think about it, most things in life that are worth living for are pretty hard. Like raising a beautiful family or getting that GED you worked on for so long. And just like these, joining another culture will be scary. It will be hard, but at the end of it, you'll emerge as a much smarter, much wiser, and in America, perhaps a much more well-rounded person. So I guess what I want you to take away from this is that unity between cultures will always cause confusion and sometimes cause pain. But understanding that you really know nothing about the culture that really knows nothing about you can also make you feel just a tad bit better. It's a sort of accepted mutual misunderstanding that can solve some of the problem. All in all, mixing cultures is kind of like a mix between oil and water. They might not blend, but at least they're together. Which reminds me I have to go throw up, so until next time.